Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we try to make sense of the big company news, and today we're looking at News Corporation's latest filing. You know, sometimes it feels like reading a spy novel full of codes and hidden messages. Well, today's report is about as exciting as watching paint dry, but stick with me because even in the most mundane documents, there can be little sparks of insight, especially when it comes to how much stock the company is buying back. So, what is the big deal here? Well, News Corporation, the company behind all sorts of media outlets you might know like the Wall Street Journal and Fox News, is telling us about its stock buyback programs. Think of it like this: the company has a pot of money and it is planning to use it to buy its own shares from the market. They've told us they're authorized to repurchase up to $1 billion worth of their Class A and Class B common stock. Now, this isn't exactly groundbreaking news. They've talked about these buybacks before. What is interesting is that because they're listed on the Australian Securities Exchange, the ASX, they have to report these buyback transactions daily. So this filing is basically just attaching copies of the information they've already sent to the ASX. It is like a public company's diary of its own stock purchases. They also mentioned that these statements about repurchasing stock are what they call forward-looking statements. Basically, that means they're saying, we plan to do this, but things could change. They're being careful and telling us up front that market prices, general conditions, or even new investment ideas could affect their stock buyback plans. And they're clear that they won't necessarily update you if those plans change unless the law says they have to. Let's talk about how their stock is traded. They have two classes of common stock, Class A and Class B, and both are traded on the Nasdaq Global Select Market. For those of you who like to follow the tickers, you'll see them listed as NWSA for Class A and NWS for Class B. This is pretty standard for companies with different share classes, allowing for different voting rights or other shareholder distinctions. Now, while this particular filing is more about the administrative side of things and the disclosures related to their stock repurchase programs, it is always worth remembering what these buybacks can signal. When a company buys back its own stock, it can mean a few things. It could mean management believes the stock is undervalued and buying it back is a good investment for the company. It could also be a way to return capital to shareholders indirectly by reducing the number of outstanding shares, which can potentially increase earnings per share. In this specific filing, they aren't giving us fresh financial numbers or a deep dive into their performance. It's more of a routine update on regulatory requirements and their ongoing buyback strategy. However, the existence of $1 billion repurchase authorization tells us that News Corporation has confidence in its financial position and its future prospects. They have the cash available and the board's approval to spend it on their own stock. Considering News Corporation is a massive media conglomerate, these buybacks could be a way to manage their capital allocation effectively. They have a diverse range of businesses, and deciding where to invest or return capital is always a key strategic decision. Looking at this from a broader perspective, News Corporation is navigating a complex media landscape. While this report doesn't reveal any dramatic shifts, the continued commitment to stock buybacks suggests a stable and profitable operation. It is a sign that they're not facing any immediate severe financial distress that would prevent them from executing such a program. Now, let's be clear. This filing is not going to give you the nitty-gritty financial results you might find in a quarterly earnings report. It is more about transparency and fulfilling regulatory obligations. But for an investor, seeing a company actively buying back its stock, especially with a substantial authorization like this, can be reassuring. It suggests the company's leadership sees value in its own stock and is willing to put its money where its mouth is. So, what is the bottom line here? News Corporation is continuing its stock repurchase program, authorized for up to $1 billion. They are diligently following the rules by reporting these activities, even if it means attaching documents they've already sent to the Australian Securities Exchange. This is a positive signal, indicating financial strength and confidence in their future. While there are no specific financial figures to analyze in this particular report, the commitment to buybacks is a strategic move that could benefit shareholders over time. Alright, that is our quick look at this News Corporation filing. What are your thoughts on companies buying back their own stock? Does it signal strength or something else to you? Let me know in the comments below if you found this breakdown helpful. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Corporate Decoder for more. And don't forget to join our Discord community, linked in the description. For more discussions and insights, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.